All right, guys, let's take a look at this Laco. This is the part of a squad watch. So Laco does this with some of their like dive style watches. They'll do a series of 5, I believe, is what their run is. And Gary, aka Offduty, actually did buy all 5, which I think if you really like the Laco series when they do a squad series, I think there's probably a lot of people that will buy more than one, and I get it. But this one is called the Kilimanjaro, which is a pretty crazy mountain, volcanic mountain in the Tanzania area here, and you have each one has a name, right? So here's that one. Here's these ones. I'm not going to pronounce them all, but Daintree, I can say that. That's in Australia, and then you have those two. So, like I said, Gary has all 5 of them, which is pretty dang awesome, and we're going to take a look at this one. So 200-meter water resistance on this guy, screw down crown, screw down case back, actually has display case back and sapphire crystal up top. Case size, I measure 42.25 millimeter on this guy, 48 lug to lug. You can see it's pretty much all brushed. Maybe different consistency in the brushing, but for the most part it's just a brushed tool watch. Made in Germany, you're going to get a lot of tool factor when you have made in Germany watches. 12.5 thick, 12.5 millimeter thick. Now it looks a little thicker than what it really is, right? That's because you kind of have that slab side and you have a very cog-like bezel here. So it just visually looks thicker than it really is. 12.5 is pretty thin. A lot of dive watches are over 13 millimeter. So oversized crown on this guy as well, 7.5 millimeter, super easy to operate this guy, and it's using the Miyota 9, no, not, I almost said that, I'm so used to everyone using the 9 series. This is actually an 8 series. They call it the Laco 21. It's basically just a movement with 21 jewels in it, but it's actually the Miyota 821A. So it does hack, it does wind, and it does all that stuff. So very, very stout crown when it's pulled out. There's no wiggle to that at all. And you can wind in that position and then set your time and date and all that good stuff. Screw it down in and you are all set to go with your water resistance. 60 click bezel on this, 0 play, very nice precise bezel, and it lines up. You can see you have 2 tone on this. You have black on the top, blue on the bottom, and all indicated for dive function, one direction. Retail price on this is only $990. So there's the hang tag for it and the model number. I'll put a link in the description, but like a lot of the videos that I share with you guys, they're all sold out. So I had a hard time figuring out how many they made of each one. I talked to Offduty, Gary, a little bit about that, and he seems to think that they made 1,000 of each. So they sold out pretty fast. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned 20 millimeter lug width bracelet tapers down to 18. This is brand new. Gary sent me 3 watches, all of them brand new. He hadn't even really checked them out yet or wore them or anything. So mad props, man. That's awesome for me to check them out. So I'm going to get these videos out and get these returned to you so you can enjoy them. It looks to be a split pin bracelet. I am totally fine with that, guys. I can size a split pin bracelet and with my eyes closed and a thumbtack, you know what I mean? Like, that's a bracelet design that a lot of people actually enjoy. Stamped dive extension and only 2 micro adjusts. That's kind of a bummer. It looks like there would have been real estate for more, obviously, but when they add the dive extension, it kind of kills that opportunity. Otherwise, you have to have way too long of a clasp here. So again, excuse me, again, I've mentioned this before, I would forego the dive extension and have more micro adjust, and maybe they could just include like a $10 cheap rubber strap that you could change out if you want to go diving with it. Solid end links, and then that first centerpiece articulates, so it's going to have super good comfort on wrist and aid in that. So, all right, guys, let's check this thing out on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. We'll do a little close-up action, and we'll do the Lume. So you can see there, you guys know I like the 42 by 50. This one falls really close to those measurements, so I'm really enjoying this thing on wrist. It wears perfect, and I love the white dials. So that coupled with a 2-tone bezel, And if we do the close-up, you'll see that the fit and finish on it is superb, and the brushing is awesome. Everything is just so well sorted and tight, well executed, and you're typically going to have that level of execution with a lot of made in Germany type watches that I've noticed. That I've handled many of them actually. I'd like to see a lot more of them because they are so well built. Now this one is claiming to have C1 lume. Typically when I hear C1, I feel like it's maybe inferior, but I did check it beforehand and it seemed like it was actually plenty bright. I'm not sure the stay power it has, but let's turn the lights out and check it out real quick. So as you can see, the lume is pretty good. There's a decent amount of real estate, and it seems plenty bright. Now, I don't know how long it'll take for it to fade or anything like that. It's not like C3X1 or something, but like I said, when I hear C1, usually I just seem like it's going to be weak, and it's definitely not weak. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next segment.